Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I'm making my video today like this. I had started going to the park, but I was just at the park, and there was only one person there at the park, a man around my age, I'm guessing, and it was very disturbing what he was doing. And he was watching me. You know, of course, I looked over there to see who was in the park, you know, when I drove up, you know, see how habit of safe it is, and then this disturbing guy just kept watching me. He was probably thinking, what is a woman sitting in her, you know, SUV talking to herself? But no, he was just disturbing. Plus, he wasn't wearing a face covering or a mask, and this is Texas, and it's mandatory. Today's August 1st, 2020. Anyway, I want to talk about, which is kind of funny, some women who have this royal highness, okay, and it could be a man who has, you know, like similar for men, kind of, you know, attitude, but the royal highness, is it highness? Which one? Okay. Anyway, you know, like, in her attitude is that, for one thing, you are her subjects. Isn't that what they call them, subjects? You know, she is the queen. She is the one up high, and everybody else is just there to whatever her bidding is. You know, some people call that kind of thing flying monkeys. All right, anyway. Now, I have an example of this, and I wanted to make this public. I think I've done a video on it, one video on it or with it in there once before. But imagine somebody, okay, you know, is on some kind of service, any kind of social media service, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, whatever it is, Twitter, and there's some kind of a new rule or something. Okay, they have a new rule that you can do this or you can't do that. You know, that will get you whatever, some, you know, maybe your account deactivated or whatever it is. There's a rule, and it says you cannot do this and you cannot do that. Now, I had experienced this one time before. There was this woman, she kept trying to get me to watch her YouTube channel. And I have YouTube channels, okay? And I watched hers, and I was like, I don't know, you know? Well, anyway, at some point, there was a rule. You know, a new rule, new something. And she was one to commit that kind of thing. And I mentioned it to her. And she said that, basically she said, well, she was on live. Okay, her video was live. And I mentioned it to her in a comment. I said, have you heard about this? That's the only way I put it. I didn't say, you do this and you need to stop it. I just say, have you heard about that? And she commented that she hadn't heard about it, and because they haven't sent her an email personally to her email, you know, sent it to her email, that therefore it does not apply to her. You know, and she has to agree to it. Something along that line. And she was on live and she was saying that. So everybody who was watching her could see her say it. So it was real. She said it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Her Royal Highness, she thinks, you know, they're going to personally email her to talk to her about it. Like, they have to have her permission to do that? No. I don't even remember what it was. No, it doesn't work that way. But there are people out there who have that kind of nerve, you know. And she was one to think of, you know, other people were lesser than her. And she was not all that popular. I've seen some really popular people, and we all know that really popular people on YouTube. But just say the ones that aren't those millions of subscribers and such, you know, and maybe say, I don't know, I never knew what to say was what, you know, like, if you have this many subscribers, then you are, this many subscribers, then you're not, you know. But I think everybody has their own gauge, how they see it. Okay. And I just have a feeling, hers, I mean, it wasn't that high. But she just had a feeling like she was Queen Bee, and she was on top of everybody, you know, everything, and everybody else they were her subjects, and her, yeah. And then she would do things like, I don't even know if her channel still exists. This was a while back. Probably a couple of years ago, I guess. You know, and some people like that, they continue and some don't. But she would point out that her channel was so popular, which it really was not. And seriously, I mean, like I say, I have my own gauge. Everybody else does too. You know, how they say it's this or that. But that would not be considered a popular channel, no matter what, I don't think. But she would point that out. And then that hers was so grand, but other people that were, you know, that spoke to her or, you know, in her live streams would say something, theirs was low. I mean, like, they just don't have it. And that's why they're on mine, is they're trying to get, from my channel, they're trying to get subscribers. You know, she would always brag about herself. Okay, as if she was some, I don't know. See, I don't have any kind of, I don't idolize people. I don't glorify people. I don't, you know, see anybody as being like so high and worthy, you know, of being glorified. I don't even like doing, you know, getting on live chats to say anything, you know, or to watch, really, because that seems like glorifying somebody to me. And I could be wrong. Like I said, it's my opinion. And I could be wrong. See, I can admit I can be wrong. This is not, the types that I'm talking about, they do not admit it at all. They're never wrong. You know, they're kind of a little bit of a narcissistic histrionic behaviors, the blend of them going on there. Okay, I'm looking at my notes here. Yeah, and she thought of herself as very special. Okay, very, very special. And the others, they just thought that they were, but they're not. You know, this kind of thing. And it really bothered me because she trolled, you know, this is something I've seen happen. And I think some people can do it, and they're not doing it for that purpose, but some of them, they troll channels to get people to join theirs, and then they don't watch anymore that person. You know, they'll go out of their way, and then they stop watching. So all they want is the popularity. And I've heard, I've seen this over years. I've seen it happen to other people. People, you wonder what's going on with that. Now, some people just do, and then if that person doesn't watch theirs, they stop too, because it's like it should be a two-way street. You know, if they don't like my videos, then okay, they're not going to watch my videos, then maybe I have I'm not going to spend time watching theirs, because, you know, that kind of attitude. See, I don't glorify people, so to me, I hardly ever watch videos. I hardly ever watch, I hardly ever comment, because when I do watch them, I usually watch them on my TV, and then I'd have to go to my, you know, my cell phone or my iPad and to comment. I have to go back into the video to comment, and I usually don't comment. But let me see, read my notes again. You know, now here's the thing I wrote down here. Yeah, we are taught to think, you know, think good thoughts about ourselves, okay? You know, to think highly of ourselves, that we don't do something that's, you know, that our self-esteem is high enough that we don't get, whatever, you know, some kind of negative, you know, somebody who's narcissistic come after us, that's really the wrong way to say it, because that's kind of blaming the victim of them. But, you know, we need to have some self-esteem, but not to the point that, you know, some would say, well, she has self-esteem, you know, but like I'm saying, we need to have self-esteem. We need to think high enough of ourselves that, you know, we have good self-esteem, a good level, but not to the point of narcissism. Not to the point where we're looking at ourselves in the lake, some say lake, some say river, some say whatever, pond, and we're so involved looking at ourselves that we forget that other people exist, that life exists. You know, and not to the point of narcissism. You know, and how do you know? When have you reached that point? Well, I'm not here to answer that question. But yeah, I was thinking about this the other day. I have seen this happen. You know, like people, let me pause it here a second. I have seen this happen to people. Like they have YouTube channels, or they have a blog, or they have a whatever on whatever social media it is. And at first they come off, you know, kind of shy, because, you know, we all are when we're learning something new. you know, we're not, many of us, not all, okay, I can't say all, but, you know, you're learning something new. You don't know all there is to it. Some people, they think they do. But you can see some people, they gain some kind of a, you know, confidence after they've done a job and they've done what it takes to be that, whatever it is. Okay, you know, say you go to school or trade school or, you know, whatever, college, to learn something so you can have that confidence in yourself because you have done the job. You've earned the certification, the degree, the whatever. You have earned it. And not just from experiencing, because, you know, many things that you have, I'm talking about something that you have to have a certification, or you have to have a degree, or you have to have that. Then you have that confidence. And it's not something you go around telling everybody you have. It's just there because you've done the work. You've done what was required. Now, some people, they skip that whole step. You can see it, and that's arrogance. They say that they already know everything, that they've experienced it. They don't need to do all the rest of that. And everybody should listen to them, you know. And that's this kind. You know, the Royal Highness, they're up there. I have seen this too many times in my life. You know, actually, it was one really big time when this woman, she thought because she was an office manager now, office manager, that she was this queen bee in everything, and that everybody, she knows every subject there is. I'm using that voice on purpose. Every subject there is, and that everybody should come to her to question about even things in politics or news or whatever. Because she was an office manager. Seriously. And she graduated high school, and that was it. And for the things that she was talking about, you needed a degree. I'm not talking about politics, but she was trying to counsel some people. She was a counselor. It was bad. Yeah. But this is a person who has arrogance. Okay? This is the type that is arrogance. It's not confidence, it's arrogance. And, you know, like I said, confidence is something that's in you because you did the work. You actually did it. Arrogance is when you didn't. That's only one part of, that's how I see that. Just one part of it. Anyway, I thought I'd get out here and do this video. Like I said, I did it this way because there was some disturbing man at the park. It was disturbing me, to me. And then all of a sudden, I was making a video at the time, and all of a sudden he just kind of disappeared. I was watching to make sure he wasn't going to be too close to my SUV, and all of a sudden he disappeared. But it was that he was behind a shadow. He wasn't close enough to touch my SUV when I had looked the last time, you know. But just he was watching me, and I have enough trouble with my neighbors watching me. And I know it's kind of strange to see somebody sitting out in their SUV talking, but cell phones have been around for a while, and people talk on their cell phones in their SUVs. So, yeah. I had my first one in 2002. This is 2020. So people have had a chance, long enough to figure it out. Anyway, wrapping it up. Talk to you on another video.